What up? I want to do something different here. Well, maybe not something different, just something that comes up a lot in my life. And since, it's popped in my head, I had a long day at a training class for Toyota, which was great. It gave me some really good perspective over some insecurities I've had with where I work. And I was able to really get a better perspective. Well, one, my ego kicked in, which I needed to dead that real quick. Come on now. But so I was able to do that faster than normal. And then the other thing is, when it comes to my success with what I do for a living, if I'm not giving all of that to God and I'm taking some of it for myself, then I just sound like an idiot. I sound like an asshole, really. And so I need to really, and I'm doing a lot better at that. When I have a good day, I can get my head can get really big. And I got to remember, these are the things that I pray for. I pray for a successful day. And when it's delivered, that's God. It's not me. Sure, I have this ability, but it's God. Right? I don't just come in and they're all landing on my lap. I'm asking for God to help with it, and then it's provided. That needs to be the end of it. Right? So I'm learning that. So I'm catching myself after saying some wild ass shit, and I said it to the wrong person today, and I had to make it a quick amends within seconds, and I'm grateful that I was able to do that, because I thought for a second, well, I don't want to say that because then I sound like no, it doesn't matter. This is the punishment for talking like an asshole. And I wasn't directing anything mean, but it's just I don't like the way when I talk like that, because God's grace, especially God's mercy. But the word insecurity came to mind as I was driving back. I'm in a season of my life where I've been having to tackle these insecurities of mine. And insecurity is a fear. It's what it is. It's a fear. It's not being secure. It's insecure inside. A fear of rejection, fear of them leaving, fear of them not liking me anymore, fear of them making fun of me. All of these things that I call insecurities, and I say, I have insecurities. I'm owning the fact that I don't want to work on the fear. I've got all these other areas of my life that I'm not afraid of anymore, like getting loaded. I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid of the thought popping in my head. Fuck, dude, I was tripping last night and I had a drug dream, and I woke up from that drug dream and I thought to myself, I had a drug dream because I wanted to escape from this insecurity. If I'm to be the right partner for somebody, then I cannot come to the table with insecurities where they have to fill my cup. And I was thinking about it. I decided to just start praying. Because when I start idolizing things over God, that want becomes a need. And if that need doesn't fulfill my expectations, my cup's not being filled. And what I need to be is somebody that goes to God, God fills my cup, and then I can unload my cup into others. I say I want to help people, then that means that I need to be able to dump my cup into others. And if I'm requiring others to fill my cup, then how am I going to fill others' cup? And here's what happens. I come to somebody and they fill my cup and their cup is empty. And then my cup is empty. And we're both left with empty cups. And then the character defects, the fears and all that stuff start coming out. I want to be that person for anybody in any relationship with me, whether it's a friend, a partner, whatever, where they can count on me and they can lean on me because I'm going to fill their cup. And then hopefully they do the same. And so we both have full cups where we just kind of share the oil. And we pour it into others. I want a relationship with a person where we pour our cup into others and then we go to God to have it filled. Not require each other to fill each other's cup. And when it comes to people that I want to be in a relationship with, they've got plenty in their cup. But sometimes you can't draw water from dry wells. And sometimes I'll come across somebody whose well isn't quite filled, and they're kind and they're nice and all that stuff, and all of a sudden I'm sucking them dry. not realizing it, and I'm being nice, and then all of a sudden they got to act a certain way. And I'm realizing that, and I've realized it over the last year and a half, or over a year and a half. And so that word insecurity, I keep thinking about it like I've got insecurities. I need to handle my insecurities. So I don't just come out saying some bullshit and then saying, oh yeah, it's because of my insecurities. And all it really is how do I feel about myself? How's my relationship with God? If my relationship is very good with God, like if it's the way I feel it is, or the way I say it is, let's just say if it's the way I say it is, then I don't have those insecurities where I need others. So I'm learning things like detachment. Detachment isn't pushing somebody away. What it's doing is it's giving me the ability to come from a place of abundance and not a place of need. And I have always in the past come from a place of need. This is that new void being filled, and so and the expectations are so high. And the only thing that can fill that void is God. And when God fills that void, then He gives me what I want. And then that want becomes the need, and then all of a sudden the cycle continues. Just like when I was on dope, just like when I was drinking. And I thought to myself, maybe I'll just share this, some stuff I'm working through. Maybe somebody will come across this and they can relate to it. Whether it's God for you or a higher power for you, that should be the place of abundance. And that's the place I know can only fill that place. My God over exceeds my expectations. Nobody else does. There's no person, place, or thing that is going to fulfill all my expectations in the way I want. And I can see how it is when I don't get responded to by a text, or it's not the right response. And you see how I say that, the right response? I shouldn't have to need somebody to tell me, hey, I need space. I should be able to tell in the communication. If the communication isn't going quite the way I would like it to go, then I have to be able to see that and say, okay, back off a little bit and quit needing. And this isn't an easy video to do, talking about this stuff. I talk about everything, but this isn't an easy one to do because I'm like putting it out there for anybody to watch. And sometimes when I do that, I have this fear, this insecurity that somebody will catch this video that knows me and they'll play off on it. And see, that's a bullshit fear to have. So fuck it, I'll do one. I've done plenty about my problems in this series of almost 2 years. And this is one of them. I want to work on my insecurities, not just use them as an excuse to why I have my bad behaviors, my negative way of thinking. The last video I did was a clear-cut insecurity thing. I talked about how, like, if I don't get the information, then I draw up this play in my head, and then all of a sudden I start believing it, and then I start feeling a certain way about it, and then I act. Where's the fix in that? Right? That's the same thing as saying the short version of that, oh, I've got insecurities. I'm in a season of my life these last 5 months where I've had to attack these insecurities, so I found creative ways to do it. And they're working, but I can't expect that, 40 plus years of thinking this way and acting this way, that in a few short months, I'm fixed. And so I can go about my business. No, the grind continues to happen. And I don't like the way it feels. But it's necessary. So I have to keep coming to a place where I'm like, okay, God, I need to put you back in the place where you're the most important thing. And I need the wants to stay as wants. And you to remain the need. So instead of just like saying, oh yeah, the insecurity thing, I need to really think, okay, I'm having this insecurity. What can I do about it? Not why is this insecurity happening again? That same thing that happened a few months ago where I was switching the why to the what needs to be applied in all of these areas that I want to fix. And this is one of them. And the what is, I go to God on everything when it comes to this and say, okay, I'm back to this. I know that you're okay with me saying, hey, I'm back to this. Can you help? And so for anybody watching this that's struggling with this kind of thing, what's helping me in these short period, the short period of time, is that practice where I'm leaning on my higher power, God for me, and I'm saying, hey, I'm dealing with this. This is how I feel about it. Can you please help me with this? And when I do that, the answer sometimes will come to me. Sometimes it comes in different forms. So love yourself today, and just know that, like, we get to choose if we want to keep the insecurities or if we really want to work through them and work on them. Because, like, just like it being an insecurity, it's a fear, and the fear is a tough thing to work on because we're afraid of it. But we're not afraid of God. We're not afraid of our higher powers. It loves us. It's abundant in love, if that's what you believe. And when I go to that, that fulfills me. And I can say, okay, I need you. And then I can respond better. I can act better. I can be better. And I feel better. Like, I feel better right now just talking about this. Because I'm putting it out there in the open. This is what's going on with me. And I want to change it. So I have to keep practicing that stuff. It's not the acceptance that I have insecurities. I don't need to accept that I have the insecurities. I need to accept that they're there and not be mad at myself for that. I need to surrender that I can't fix them alone. I don't need to surrender that they're always going to be there. I just need to surrender to the fact that there is only one thing that can fulfill my expectations and my void. That's what I need to accept. That's what I need to surrender to. And that way I can be that person that when somebody needs to lean on me, especially if it's a partner that I want, they can lean on me. And I don't need to come to them so they can make me feel better. And if that person's not the right person for me, well, then it'll play out the way God wants it to play out. I don't have to sit here and play the worst case scenario. My what ifs don't have to always be what if it doesn't work. It can always be what if it works. And if I can get that out of my vernacular, like, well, what if this? Or if it doesn't, because it's the same thing, just in different, the words are changed up a little bit different. I won't focus on that as much, and I'll just focus on my side of the street, how I can be better, and what I need to really lean on when I'm feeling low. There's only one place to go. And that way I can provide a full cup of oil that I can dump over, instead of like needing people to fulfill my expectations to fill my cup. Yes, people will fill our cups, but I don't need them to constantly fill my cup. There's one place that is an unlimited resource. It's not tapped out. It hasn't been. Every time I've come to it, on my knees, metaphorically or literally, it is delivered. And that's God, for me. That's all I got.